Good morning, sports fans, and thanks for joining us here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. I'm Robert Anderson with my partner, Daniel Correa, and we're here at Roosevelt High School to bring you the Gold Feet Global Sporting Event. So Gold Feet Global is a training organization led by Junior Gold Feet, and this is the second year in a row that they're going to be working with Coach Joe Vito. 60 athletes registered today to go through all these training exercises. And probably, Daniel, the coolest part of this, it's at no cost to the school whatsoever. Gold Feet Global doing this just to make these young men better at what they do.
Absolutely. And Rob, I must say that this is truly a philanthropic event of the ages. It's a great opportunity for all of these athletes to compete. There are a total of 60 athletes on the field, on the gridiron at this wonderful football field, home to the Roosevelt High School Rough Riders. And I just got to say that this is going to be just an outstanding event. It's very awesome for the community.
Yeah, and how about the fact that they've got everybody from 4th grade to 12th grade out on the field, a range of different ages, different athletes. And you got to tip your hat to Coach Joe Vito, right? Joe's been around this field, been around this school a very long time. He's got 20-plus years here. To do something like this, not just for your team, but your community, is fantastic.
Certainly so. And this is something that, you know, as you alluded to, Rob, that the particular coach, Joe Vito, is certainly also looking forward to this as well.
And there he is, Joe Vito out there, eyeballing everybody as they start to go through some of the warm-up activities. So as we go through the program, Gold Feet Global has a whole bunch of different stations that they're going to be working at, and a lot of different skills encompass the program. So speed development is a major part of it, and one that Coach Vito said he's really looking forward to. It teaches them burst. It teaches them first step, endurance. So we know in football, speed is an important part of the game.
Absolutely. And when you consider that, when you just alluded to the fact that speed is an important element, it's an important component of the game. And the reason being is because you have there are a couple of positions on the gridiron that require speed to be implemented. And that includes the running back position and even the wide receiver position, because the wide receiver has to run routes that the head coach implements and draws up. And when you consider the wide receiver position, wideouts, they have to have speed. And so do running backs. The backs have to have speed because they get the ball handed off to them by the quarterback. And so the running back and the wide receiver are two positions where you're going to see speed enforced and speed utilized.
Absolutely, and it's an important part of the game, like you said, especially for those positions. And then another part of this program is going to be footwork and movement, which obviously applies to those guys. But what about footwork and movement for offensive and defensive linemen? How important is that for their balance and stability?
Well, for the offensive and defensive linemen, the OLs, and for the O-line and for the D-line, you're going to need speed also, because they have to, they have to be able to cover well.
Yeah.
And the guards have to cover well against their respective opponents.
So, yeah, one of the things with the footwork and mobility part is that he's looking at agility in different directions, moving side to side, balance and body control, and position-specific movements. And balance, such an underrated part of sports. I feel like a lot of coaches go towards endurance and speed. However, balance, Herschel Walker, you remember the great running back Herschel Walker, he took ballet classes.
Absolutely.
To become a better running back. So that's going to be part of the footwork and movement. And then we've got what's called functional strength training, right? So functional strength training is going to be core stability, preventing injury. So as far as the strength part of the game, we know super important to football.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Rob. And I couldn't agree more with that statement but when you also consider not only mobility, but you have the conditioning part too. But with mobility and stressed and emphasized, I believe that when you have the offensive lineman, when you have the defensive lineman, these particular positions require horizontal action. They need to be able to go from side to side, left to right, and utilize horizontals like the great. This is a different sport that I'm giving reference to, but it's Greg Nettles on the Yankees, the third baseman. He was very good at going to his left and right on plays.
And if you look on the screen, we just had the man. He's in the pink hoodie. You can't miss him out there. How about Junior Goldfeet up here from Florida, second year in a row? This event, again, free for the kids that are out there today. And you could follow them, Instagram, at Goldfeet. They also are at goldfeetglobal.com, and we'll reference those throughout this broadcast. But follow them on Instagram at Goldfeet and see what it's all about. I'm sure he'd be willing to come to all the communities out there. And Junior really doing an amazing thing. And a very friendly fellow. We were down there yucking it up a little bit, and he is so excited to share his knowledge with these young athletes. He trains pro athletes as well, so he knows what he's doing out there.
Certainly, and when you consider, Rob, that, he has that pedigree, he has that acumen, does Junior Goldfeet, who's a very well-renowned coach from Florida, and, he certainly knows, he's been around the block, Rob, so he knows what he has those connections.
And probably what I think, Dan, is one of the best things that I heard out of him is that, yes, there's a concentration, and you can see already right now, the boys are still in a warm-up phase, folks. So if you're looking, going, hey, when are we going to get to these drills? This is all part of the warm-up phase, and you can see all those young faces out there. It's amazing. Another thing that Junior prides himself on is his ability to teach these young men about having an IQ on the field, having integrity on the field, and he brings a spiritual aspect to the game as well to try to teach them that they are in this because they've been given gifts and they're going to share those gifts with their teammates and their communities. He tries to not just create athletes, but he tries to create really good young men.
And when you consider that, that particular value of creating great men out of the human being, and the human being being transformed through the lens of Jesus Christ. It's unbelievable, and it's great to see, and it's a blessing.
Yeah,
a true blessing on and off the field.
It certainly is, and part of the philosophy is that it is a Christian-based, and he believes in building a brotherhood through mentorship and talking to these young men and building up a certain focus on life, and that football or training in general is just an avenue where you could become a better person physically and mentally. And with that, and we know this from, playing sports, I've been coaching a really long time, with that comes discipline and confidence. And when you put these young men or young ladies out on a field, discipline is a key factor. If you can control your emotions, control how you're thinking out on the field, and eventually once you can discipline yourself, you see people's confidence raising as he had said, in a positive way. We could be overconfident and sometimes lose focus, but if you take the discipline, take the focus, you'll have a healthy confidence.
Well, it all comes into play. It's a domino effect in a positive light. So what I mean by that, I will articulate, Rob, and say, I think that if discipline is at the fore, and then you also have sportsmanship, that's also a great, valuable aspect of this particular event in all sports, not just football, but in every sport and everything that one does at a competitive level. With competition is also something that is valued in this and utilized in this particular event as well. And when competition unfolds, discipline and sportsmanship have to be at the back of people's minds in order for competition to be resulting in friendly competition, because that's what this is all about.
And right on cue, you saw a whole bunch of smiles. You could see these young men, obviously some of the elementary-aged athletes, and they're out there. They're going to start their sprints. They had a little early. Well, how about that fella going? What's his number? Number 49 over there. So we'll introduce you to Jake Murtaugh. He's our fourth grader, the youngest one out there. He had some mug going.
That would be Jack Murtaugh.
Oh, Jack.
Yes.
Okay, we got Jack. Yeah, how about Jack going?
Yeah, I tell you, Jack, he's a running back. So to see him speed down from the goal line to the 30-yard line isn't something that we're unaccustomed to seeing because speed is part of his game wholeheartedly. He's a running back. He's also a linebacker who's 4 foot even and 60 pounds. He's also in 4th grade, and his stomping grounds are Stewart Manor Elementary. Jack Murtaugh.
And we saw him out there with number 52, James DiStefano, and 15, Nigel Seeley. We'll be seeing these young fellas as they go through. And now on our screen, we've got number 44. That's Jace Williams, and he's in a partnership with Alan Brista. Alan is a Sewantica kid. That's where I teach. So I guess I'm going to have to go say hi to Alan.
Definitely pay him a visit and pay him a salutation would be great.
Absolutely. Give him a
sure.
little love down there. Sewantica. So how about that? Obviously, a lot of these athletes are Roosevelt High School, but we do have a whole bunch of different schools, Dan, if you want to tell everybody who else is represented here that we have note of.
Sure thing, Rob. I would love to delve into the other schools a little bit. When we give reference to Copeg High School, they're a school that is definitely going to be represented today in addition to Uniondale High School in Nassau County, right where the Nassau Coliseum used to be, where the New York Islanders played their historically before they moved to Elmont at UBS Arena on Long Island. So, Uniondale High School will certainly be in representation today, along with Roosevelt Middle School and Roosevelt High School. Now, I'd like to actually provide you some background on Roosevelt High School, if I may, Rob.
Absolutely.
In terms of their recent playoff history, just to give you some specifics, and as these events and trainings and this exhibition is going on and unfolding at our doorstep on the gridiron, I'll provide you and give you the recent history for Roosevelt High School, the Rough Riders, for the years 2023 and 2024. For 2023 and 2024, they both earned playoff berths in both years, and that's significant because in 2023 they actually posted a record of 5-4, and they lost in the quarterfinal round. They lost to Floral Park Memorial, and they were shut out. They were blanked 31-0 in that contest, and the Rough Riders were on the road in that particular game, so they definitely, unfortunately, lost that game in tough fashion. However, in the following year, Rob, in 2024, they went 4-5, so you reciprocate that record from the prior year, and Roosevelt went to they did qualify for the postseason as well, and they lost in the first round as well, in the quarterfinal round, but since then they haven't made they're looking to get back to the promised land. Let's just put it that way, Roosevelt High School, in terms of playoff success and good vibes.
Yeah, and that's really what today is all about. And one of the things we just saw Coach Junior do out there is, he got them in a circle. There's Coach Vito. Look at him. He's always got to be right on the camera. He just jumps in front of that camera. Ham and cheese sandwich that he is. So, Junior got them. He got them in a big circle. He started to, rally them up with some chants, and they, it was really cool that they followed his lead, and that's part of what he wants to teach. I'm sure that today there are going to be captains or potential captains that are looking at the way he conducts himself, and they could mimic that down the road. And here, everybody's moved to another drill. This looks like it's going to be a footwork and agility drill. You can see that they're getting those feet moving, running through the cones. So right now, this looks like it's just going to be a burst drill where they start to, just get their footwork first step. And I'm sure that the dots out there, the cones that they're using, are going to be utilized for some kind of lateral movement. But this is a very traditional football drill. Get the feet rolling and then burst through. So it's not about endurance right now. It's just burst, speed, first step, get it going.
If I may, Rob, I'd like to give reference to one player named Luciano Norman. He's number 10. Luciano Norman, he's a linebacker, and he's 6'1", 200 pounds, and he, Norman's as I alluded to, a linebacker. So, as we mentioned earlier, the whole horizontal game, going from left to right, part of being a defensive linebacker, as you know, it's a defensive position, the linebacker position. You have to be able to stay on the line and keep an eye on the opposing quarterback on the other team, because you have to be able to blitz that quarterback as a linebacker, kind of like Micah McFadden did with the Giants before he got injured, blitzing opposing quarterbacks like Jalen Hurts on the Eagles, Dak Prescott on Dallas, or even Jalen Daniels on the Washington Commanders, just to name a few NFC East quarterbacks. But on the context of Luciano Norman, he's going to be in situations defensively where he's going to have to creep up and utilize those horizontal skills to his benefit and to perfection in those situations where he has to blitz the opposing quarterback.
Yeah, and you see that, again, he's getting all these young men working, a lot of them out there. So I know it's difficult as a coach to try to keep everybody active and moving. Another thing that this company prides themselves on is football IQ, which involves, film study and recognition of the skills that you need, how to read plays. They're not going to go through that. They've only got a few hours today. This is going to be strength and conditioning. But you can see that they continue with the drill, and now they're going to do some individuals. And here we got some of the linemen starting to do some work there. You saw Carter Taylor peeling off, number 40. And we're going to bring you a whole bunch of names throughout this entire broadcast.
Certainly.
And let's get some volunteers here for something.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be – they lined up they're lining up. All the athletes are convening at the 50-yard line right now, Rob. So that's where they're setting up shop.
All right, and we have an opportunity now as the man, the myth, the legend, Coach Vito joins us. So we're going to get him a headset, folks, and we'll talk to the Roosevelt Hall of Famer over here and talk about how he got this day going and his relationship with Junior. Got you all set up, Joe?
Yes, we do.
All right. So, Coach, welcome. This is Daniel. I think you met earlier.
Daniel.
Awesome.
Nice to meet you, Mr.
Yes,
Vito.
sir.
Coach Vito.
All right. So, Coach, I guess we'll start with bringing this whole thing together today, right? This is the second year you're doing it. Tell us how it came about.
So, 3 years ago, Junior, Goldfeet Global, asked if he can come up and run a training session for our kids. And we wanted to open it up because it's not just about football, which we spoke about earlier. This is about trying to let athletes become better athletes. And we can all use speed training in all the sports that we are involved with. So, we just wanted to give him that opportunity and, of course, open it up to all Long Island kids. I mean, we're at Roosevelt High School, but this is open to any kid that wanted to improve themselves.
Which is absolutely an incredible part of, everything that Junior's doing and how you got this together. The other part that we were just talking about is that Junior focuses on, obviously, a lot of the physical aspects of the game, but prides himself on a lot of the mental aspects of the game. So I'm sure some of his ideas overlap with yours.
Sure.
What are some of the things here?
Well, some of it's just he talks about the whole mental part, and so I was actually talking to one of my coaches out there, and what we like is when you can hear other people speak, and it confirms a lot of the things that we all try to teach. So maybe we're a little long in the tooth, but our ideas are still fresh.
I'm going to pass over to Daniel because Daniel did a little research on your team.
Okay.
And I'm sure he's got questions about last season and what we're looking to build.
Certainly. So Coach, we just gave reference in the broadcast about the 2023 and the following 2024 seasons, respectively, regarding how the Rough Riders made playoff berths. They earned playoff berths in both years. Can you talk a little bit about that history and that prior success? I understand that you reached that you lost in the quarterfinal rounds both years.
Yes.
The first time to Floral Park Memorial, and then subsequently you lost in 2024. So can you tell me a little bit about those seasons and how failure hopefully could lead to success down the road? Because you're going to, at all schools on Long Island, face adversity. Take it away, Joe.
So you bring up those two seasons, and what we talk about right now is the way the landscape of football has changed a little bit on Long Island, and we just want to really be relevant again. And relevant would be we got to win one of those and get back into Hofstra. So that's really what we're working on. And this year our motto is to prove them wrong. We want to prove everybody wrong. We're a lower seed, and we want to prove them wrong where we can move up a little bit into the higher seeds. So yeah, so in my case, I've been a very blessed coach. I say it like that, where we've had a lot of great history. And I really want the next group of kids to be able to be part of that. And that's what we're working on right now.
Absolutely. And Coach, I did have a second follow-up question regarding your team, the Rough Riders. I'm wondering, are there any players in particular, any athletes out there who are doing these particular drills right now and strength and conditioning activities? They're not drills, they're activities,
Yeah, sure.
Exhibition activities to prepare for the upcoming season in the fall. So my question is, are there any players in particular, any athletes in particular who you're zeroing in on right now as we approach the upcoming campaign?
Yeah, so right now, some of the players out of here, Ryan Jones, we're really depending on him. Stephon Anderson, and I'm sorry, man, I can't see the numbers from here.
We'll get them for you. But
those are some of the senior leaders that we're going to be dependent on. We have Reneel Barrett. He was one of the fastest ninth graders on Long Island this year, and we really believe he's going to be an up and coming star. He wants to be a really good football player besides track runner. So he's one of the guys that are trying to make himself better today. Right.
Sure enough, and thank you for this input, Coach.
No problem. It was great talking to you guys, and we thank you so much for promoting athletics, sports in Long Island.
Now, what about as far as we talked about the Instagram and everything for Junior and for Gold Feet? Anything that you want us to follow through, people at home can follow for Roosevelt football?
Well, we're just excited about getting this thing going again. Our weight room, we've had pretty good attendance, and, we've been doing 7-on-7. So, just hopefully we're going to show you we're going to be a different Roosevelt this year.
All right. Love it, Coach. Thank you for joining us today. It's a great event.
Right.
And
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything, Coach Vito.
Appreciate it.
All righty.
All right, there you heard it. Coach Vito giving us some of the insight on the team and the future of the team and the relationship that he's built with Gold Feet, which is fantastic. And they're continuing their drills. Again, still working in the sets with the dots, the cones, and a lot of the footwork. And you can see some of the big guys now, too. Coach mentioned Stephon Anderson and Jones and Barrett. So there are guys out there. But, again, this is ranging from fourth grade all the way up, and I love that he said it was open to all the communities and, other teams. I wish I had known about it a little earlier. You could bet there'd be some Malvern East Rockaway soccer players out here. I would have brought them
definitely
something as great as this,
For sure. Definitely. And when he gave reference to something that actually stood out to me was the fact that it's universally appealing on Long Island, not only Roosevelt High School, but all the schools throughout Long Island, universally appealing. So this is something that will reverberate all throughout the island's athletes.
Yes, it is. And we're going to take a quick break as they take a water break downstairs. Don't forget you're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network. Jump back on with us, and we'll see what they have in store next from Gold Feet Global.
What's up? This is Sean Lights Out Merriman, former Charger and Bill, and you're watching Varsity Media.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
And it's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves. You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, The sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athlete's key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now.
And we are back here on the Varsity Media Sports Network, and you can see after that water break, it's a humid day. It's hot, so they're probably going to be taking a whole bunch of water breaks throughout. And we've got a new drill, and here it looks like it's going to be speed, turning corners, and one of the athletes that we got running in there right now, number 15, Kenneth Alou. He's from Uniondale, and man, he can move for a big guy. Huh? How about Kenny?
Certainly, Kenny, he definitely is. He's moving well, left to right, and he's showcasing his speed wholeheartedly.
And there's another one there. We've got Stefan Anderson. That's the guy he said we were going to be looking out for, wearing number 27 out there. Stefan is an edge rusher, outside linebacker, senior here at Roosevelt. And, oh, boy, look what he's got him now doing, getting the push-ups in.
Yeah, when you look at number 34, Noah Davis, he's really showcasing his upper body strength there with his push-up abilities.
And there's Jack Murtaugh again, the youngster, trying to get involved. And look at him go. Jack is on fire right now, the two of them.
Yeah, you talk about on fire. They're on fire for the activity.
Yeah.
Look at him go, number 47, as if he's doing he's running a sprint, a marathon sprint. Ryan Murtaugh, who we gave reference to earlier, the 4'11", 70-pound seventh grader.
Yeah, we got the brothers there. So you got the Murtaugh brothers. You mentioned we got the Norman brothers. We got Luciano and Andreas, and then there's the Dawson brothers. There's Anthony and Michael Dawson. Anthony's wearing 7, Michael wearing 8. And a couple of the Rivas brothers, right? I believe you got Noah, Elijah, and Kareem wearing 30, 31, and 32, respectively.
And the DiStefano brothers as well.
Yeah, so it's a family affair here, all different generations. And that's probably one of the coolest things about this event is it wasn't just isolated to senior athletes or varsity athletes, but open to the community at large.
Absolutely. And as Coach Joe Vito gave reference to earlier, it's all about a collective, universally appealing community. So when you see the brothers come together, the various brothers, the family affair reference that you gave to in terms of different brothers coming together, brothers of athletes coming together on the football field here, it's great to see because it encourages other schools to participate in such an event like this for their program. And when you see that, it's just going to make Long Island come together and embrace unity and really initiate that unity across the island.
Yeah, and there's the man trying to get it done up here, Junior Gold Feet, helping us out up in Long Island, and up for him. And, you just mentioned about, like, the family affair within the families, but I think part of the mental aspect is he is trying to create a family on that field, and brotherhood is a huge part of his message, the message of the Gold Feet global company in general.
Absolutely. Brotherhood is everything, because brotherhood is, the term brotherhood by definition is when you have a group of like-minded Christian individuals who come together for God's purpose. God has bestowed upon these athletes, all 60 of these athletes, God-given talents and God-given abilities to perform a specific skill on the field, which are football-based activities, speed and turning corners based activities, speed drills. You also have endurance-based drills, and like you said, it all has to do with a family, a family type brotherhood, where it's predicated on God. It's beautiful to see.
It certainly is, and
Rob, yeah,
getting everybody involved in there. We just saw a lot of hustle out of Noah Raymond, was one of the guys in the last group, and again, I think what's impressive is just watching from afar the way Junior's got these kids locked in. And here we've got a big guy. He doesn't have a number, but we've got Ryan Jones, wearing number 6. Ryan was one of the other athletes that was mentioned. He's a linebacker, quarterback, 5'9", 164, Roosevelt senior, and they're counting on him. Let's see what he's got in the tank here.
Yeah, let's take a look and see what he could do.
Good work there on the figure 8 cut. So, again, the footwork is really a big part of this. It's the footwork connection. And, this is one of the things that Coach says. You can see this is how you earn your goal feet is by running these drills.
You saw Jack Murtaugh and Elijah Springer there going at it with that drill, the figure 8.
Yeah, Elijah coming all the way in from Copeg.
Sure thing. And he's a wide receiver and tight end, so you know that on offense he brings forth the speed element to his game.
And how about the speed here of Michael Dawson, who just got past number 20, Kyrie Robinson, the outside linebacker. And did you see the smiles on that? He knew he was going to beat his teammate.
Absolutely. He definitely had smiles galore all around.
And here comes Ronaldo Hernandez chasing after Andres Norman.
Yeah, Andres Norman really, he had somebody on his back there waiting right for him, coming right at him, actually. Not waiting for him because then he would be trailing him. No, he was coming after him on the drill.
Here's another one, man. We got a battle going on out there.
Battle in the trenches over here right around the 30-yard line.
The big guys going at it.
The big boys, yes.
And that's one of the things that's fantastic about the program that Goal Feet Global runs is it doesn't matter your size, your age. He is running everybody at the same level, trying to get the most out of them. And, again, you could follow them on Instagram at Goldfeet. You could also follow them on goalfeetglobal.com and bring Junior to your community. Lots of things, over 600 professional athletes. They say they've trained, and they have helped prepare people for combines. And today, Roosevelt getting a chance to experience what Gold Feet has.
Absolutely. And this is just a great event to see all these players showing what they have in the tank, what they have, not even in the tank, but what they have to show from an overall stamina and endurance perspective. And it's great to see. It's just a great spectacle.
I'll tell you the other part that's great is all these young men out here are locked in on what Junior is doing, and that's him commanding respect. I can tell you, I've had groups of 30-plus athletes, and when there's downtime, it's hard to get them locked in. But right now, he's got them going. Everybody's cheering each other on. Some high fives out there, so amazing to see.
Yeah, Rob, actually, if I may, Elijah Springer, who we gave reference to earlier, in the figure 8 drill and activity, we had mentioned earlier, I believe it was you, Rob, who had mentioned that Elijah Springer is a wide receiver, tight end. He's 5'8", he's 145 pounds, 9th grader, freshman out of Copeg High School. Just to give you, if I may, I'd like to give you a little bit of playoff history on Copeg. On that program. They actually, as we mentioned with Roosevelt, in 2023 and 2024, those were the 2 years that they made it to the quarterfinal round, but they didn't make it past those 2 rounds. However, with Copeg, unfortunately, it's been a little bit more of a playoff disaster tailspin for them. But it is okay because they're doing their best. They're doing their best to try to. The program is trying to resurrect itself from a playoff perspective, and the program has struggled in recent years and has not qualified for the Suffolk County Section 11 playoffs during that span. However, if you look at 2024, they were 2-6 overall, so they did have those 2 victories. So that's something that really, that was from 2 years ago. That's for the Eagles. Yeah,
they could build off of that, and that's a good opportunity for sure. And another part here is you're seeing the push-ups that they're doing. And I don't know if we know this, but Kevin Catalanato is the push-up champion, I think, at Varsity Media. And I think just coming in second place was Becca Kazak. So I don't know if they're watching, but if they are, Kevin, you should be out here doing push-ups with these guys. And now the figure 8 drills, and a good job there. That was Malia Rawlings out there. We got a young lady out there. That's amazing. So no more young men. We've got the young ladies out there, too.
Yeah.
It might be Malia Robinson.
Right. Oh, was Malia Robertson? Is that who it was?
That's who was just running before, yeah.
Yeah, Malia Robertson, she's number
46, right?
46,
QB.
right. Malia Rawlings.
Rawlings. My
Yes.
bad. I said Rawlings the first time, and then I slipped it up.
Malia Rawlings. It's okay. Yeah, so Malia Rawlings is number 46.
We're going to take a quick break right now. So they're going to go to the water. We're going to take a quick break on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We'll be right back as they switch drills up. And again, folks, thanks for watching us here.
This is Jalen Brunson. You're watching Varsity Media.
Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
If you're looking to optimize your sporting event, look no further than Varsity Media's coverage. Since working with them over the course of the past 4 years through the Elite 5 New York City Football Showcase, their coverage has helped take us to the top.
Varsity Media does an unbelievable job in terms of the broadcast, backgrounds on kids, do a great job of exposure from top to bottom. I couldn't really say anything negative. It's been a great couple of years that we've been working together, and it's just fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you, the fact that you guys are here has helped grow it, really. I mean, Varsity Media's been a good partner with us now for the last couple of years. That brings this game to a much broader audience.
The level of detail and that you go to, I mean, obviously the announcers, the camera angles, the slow motions, I mean, you feel like it's being covered by, ESPN.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports. For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Merrill, he's got room to go. Merrill towards the end zone. Lost his lid. Touchdown!
JJ Damo, face-on, stay-on athlete, controlling the face-off. That's 3 in a row now.
And we are back in action here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. And don't forget, folks, if you are running any combines, you've got games on deck, please make sure that you reach out to varsitymedia.net. You can talk to Jeff or Ben and book a broadcast. There it is, Varsity Media Sportscast. Fans, family, alumni, keep them connected. You dial 516-403-2050 or you email Ben at varsitymedia.net. And you can get your combines and your sporting events put up in the most professional way you possibly can. And again, we want to thank all of you for joining us here today at Roosevelt High School, home of the Rough Riders. Coach Vito putting together a fantastic event. It looks like we have now over 60 athletes registered for today. And, again, we're going to continue to introduce you to them as the events continue. And right now it looks like they've got them in 4 different places on the field, and they're going to be running a couple of different activities. And now all the coaches getting involved. So I told you, a one-man show, it's not too easy for Junior to be doing. So he's getting some help from the other coaches. And here you see some pivot running, and it's the back and forth. This is some endurance on one side, and then there you got Coach Junior doing the hurdles. Sidestep hurdles, balance, mobility. You got to get the feet up high. You see that on the left side of your screen, and on the right, they're doing the quick touch run back. Again, balance, how to turn on the turf. Not an easy thing to do, especially now that the drizzle started coming down.
Right, definitely. I mean, the rain, you know, it's starting to come down a little bit, and it's a situation where it's present, but it's not stopping the players.
No, they haven't stopped. The conditions do, however, make it a little more slippery. This is preparing them for game time conditions, right? You can't control the weather.
Certainly not. And with the gridiron environment, you're going to see. I'm not a meteorologist here, but you're going to see there are situations where you're going to see rain, and you play in rain or shine in football. You even play in the snow at times.
Yeah, sure.
So I mean, look at it happens. So this is just happenstance. Today it happens to be drizzling, and the athletes are coping very well with this condition.
They certainly are, and kudos to the parents that have stuck around. And again, you can see Coach Junior working on those hurdles over there, and a couple of looks like the linemen are going at it again. And up close here, we've got Elijah Springer, the Copeg athlete, getting his job done.
Certainly, and when you they're also doing some sprint action here at the 50-yard line as well. Some sprints. If you take a look at that, was number 33. Check that, number 3. Number 3, Elijah Springer, right here, who you just gave allusion to earlier. He was doing sprints back and forth.
Yeah, he's been going at it, and we've got a couple of different. There he is, standing next to who you said, number 33, Jeremiah Stewart. And we'll give you some of the lineups of the athletes out of here today. A lot of Roosevelt again, and we'll give you numbers 1 through 5, so we get some of these guys. And we've talked about some of them already. So number 1, Katie Grooms is out there. He's a defensive lineman, outside linebacker. Anthony Polanco's wearing 2. Wide receiver, tight end, Elijah Springer, we've mentioned a few times. Coming from Copeg, Suffolk County is not excluded from this event because Coach Vito loves the island, not just this county. Brian Cuero is wearing 4, and Jaden Bryant, 5, a sophomore. And we've mentioned a few times the different ages out there, and I'll tell you, they are competing no matter how big or what age they are.
Absolutely, and so true.
And look what we've got. So Coach Junior is going to be joining us now. Junior Goldfeet, how you doing?
How you doing? Good evening. Good evening.
How do the Roosevelt boys and all the boys out there, how they looking today?
Man, I love New York. This is year 3 for me coming out here, and it's home. Me coming all the way from South Florida to come to Long Island, New York, you can't beat that. And the energy is amazing. You can hear me, me breathing hard. Their attention to detail, they're taking in all the information. You can't beat that. And for me to be able to come out here and give this type of love that we give out in South Florida to New York speaks volumes.
It's amazing, and we are seeing how you're obviously going through the agility and the strength and the speed, but you're also bringing this energy and modeling leadership.
Yes.
So tell us about that part of your program. We can visualize what you do as far as the athletes go. But what about that mental part and the leadership part?
Okay, so first thing I'm going to say is you can't spill gold without God. So that's the first thing. We're men, we're built by God. We love God, and we want to preach that to everyone. Obviously, yes, everyone has different religions and different things, but the ultimate goal is to share this love. And what people fail to realize is sports is more than just the athleticism. It's the mental, it's the heart, it's the character, it's the spirit. So if I could be able to come in and talk to you and get you to believe in yourself and give you confidence, I think that allows me to be able to coach you. It allows me to give you drills and information so that you could create a product. A lot of people just care about how tall you are, how fast you are, how strong you are. But did you eat today? How are you feeling? How's your head? How's your body? Now I'm able to get a different perspective of what's going on than how many touchdowns you scored.
Right.
Or, you know what I'm saying? So it's about relationships, and then I feel like after that, everything else just kind of falls in line.
Yeah, we saw that a big part of is creating that brotherhood. Creating a brotherhood, having all these young men and women out there that get together and getting the work in. How about your relationship with Coach Vito? So tell us about how you guys brought. He gave us his version, but let's hear your side.
Coach Vito, first off, shout out to the Hall of Famer. You know, that guy right there is someone who I idolize because I want to be called that. You know, for you to be a pillar in the community for over a decade or 20 years or 30 years, it really speaks volumes. You know, so for us, you know, me being 37 and now year 11 within my company, that's why I love him so much. You know, I came up here, they introduced me to him, and it's funny, he kind of downplayed everything. You know, I'm just this regular coach, and I'm da-da-da-da. And then I started doing my research, and I'm realizing, like, he's been coaching some of the guys that's brought me out here, you know, or who's, you know, bringing around. So for him to be able to still have those relationships, it's like, you know what, teach me everything you know. Teach me how you talk to people. Teach me how you interact. Teach me how you conduct yourself. And that's why I laugh at him, because every time I see him, he has on his tights. He has on his workout gear. He's ready to go. So the same thing for me. I got my cleats on.
Yes.
I got my workout clothes on. Yes, I got on my sweater, but I'm ready to work. And I'm idolizing Vito. I'm showing that, you know what, doesn't matter the age, doesn't matter how I look, I'm going to get out here and I'm going to grind.
Yeah, and you know what's beautiful about that is, like you said, you're working with young people, but even at your age, you're still a student, you're still a learner, taking from other people. And again, I'm extremely impressed with that element of what Goal Feet Global is getting done. Now, you mentioned coming up to New York, enjoying your relationship up here in New York. How many trips do you take up here? Is this like a thing that we're trying to get going in New York? What's the vibe?
If you want me to be honest with you, I'm really trying to make this, like I said, second home. Like, this is not something where you see me for a couple of years and then I disappear. That's the reason why we did it free. You know, I want you to understand that I want to come here and I want to make a change. Right. And I feel like that change happened 3 years ago. And I feel like each year I'm able to come in and speak more and give more information or give more insight on how we could do things. Perfect example, Evan and Malcolm. I tell them all the time, there should be no reason why we have less than 10 kids in Long Island that is ranked on Rivals Max Prep.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It should be way more than that.
Absolutely.
That's disappointing. I see these kids. I've been coming out here. I've trained KJ Duff. You know what I'm saying? I've been around these type of guys. But what I'm learning is, right, someone has to come in, let them know that it can be done. Someone has to come in, give them the avenues and open doors to let them know that you can go through these doors. And then 3, give them a platform. Give them something that they have something to choose from and learn from and grow from. And I feel like that's what's going to help, because each one of them sends me their. As soon as I walk down there, one of the kids I seen last year goes, "Coach, I had 15 sacks." The year before that, he didn't want to tell me his stats. So you see the difference of now having someone who believes in you and is telling you go do it. Now you want to come back and give me more information.
And the aspect of you donating your time to this definitely lets these young men and the community, everybody involved, that this is a passion for you. This goes beyond a business. This is something you believe in, people you believe in, and it's an absolutely beautiful thing. We did mention Instagram at Goal Feet. We mentioned the website, Goal Feet Global.
Yes, sir.
How about some other places we can find? Anything else that people up here in New York or anybody listening to us can hear to get in touch with you, what you do, and try to bring it. I'm sitting here, I'm a coach 27 years, soccer coach.
Yes, sir.
I'm jealous. I wish I had my Malvern boys here. So how do we get in touch with you and get this going?
The best way is Instagram. I would say Twitter. I would say Facebook. Really any social media platform, but the most prominent one is Go Feet on Instagram. That's the one that pushes everything out, workouts, training sessions. As for the personals, personals is different. If you want to get my personal Instagram, this is Goldfeed Jr., then you're able to really get in touch with me. It's a little bit easier for me to answer questions or ask questions or talk to you on the personal page through my company page, because so many things get pushed through there. So it might be missed out and you're going to think he's ignoring me. No, I see it. I just got to answer so many other messages. But if you send it to the personal, I'm going to answer right away.
Be right on time. All right, so folks, again, that's Goldfeed, G-O-L-D feet on Instagram.
Yes, sir.
Dan, did you want to throw something out before I hog the whole thing up? And I know Junior wants to get back on that field, so.
Sure. One last token of gratitude to this endeavor for you, Coach Junior Goldfeet.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to inquire, what particular qualities and takeaways have you taken away? I know that's a play on words there. It's a bit of a redundant expression, but try to hang in with me if you could. What takeaways have you grasped from your days coaching and your current days coaching in South Florida?
Yes.
That you could bring and carry to the New York arena?
Okay. So what I could say is,
I know you mentioned confidence is a big thing.
We're in South Florida. We consider ourselves the best of the best. It doesn't matter if you're the smallest. It doesn't matter if you're white. It doesn't matter if you're green. It doesn't matter if you're a girl. If you're in South Florida, you're going to walk around with your chin up, chest out. And that's something that I want to bring here. You guys, from what I've learned about New York was the cream of the crop of athletes, meaning basketball, lacrosse, track, all these things that I've been learning about. So why aren't we walking around with that swagger no more? I don't see it.
Right.
So for me, if I could come out here and tell you, yo, you from New York.
Right.
Like, represent that. Be that.
Correct.
Look at the Knicks. There you go. To me, the Knicks was the epitome of what New York was to me.
Right.
The grit. Doesn't matter who it is. Think about it. Jalen Brunson, Wemby. We had a guy who's underneath 6'1" and a guy who's 7'4". And he went with all heart, all hard work compared to a guy who looks like so just I want that to come back here. I want these kids to fight. I want these kids to do the next thing. And if it means for me to push them out or give a little bit more, a little bit confidence, a little bit of faith, I'm going to do it.
I love it. So not the size of the dog of the fight, it's the size of the fight and the dog. And you definitely brought that to New York. It looks like the weather might be taking us out of commission now.
Yes.
So, Junior, we want to thank you for joining us here and jumping in the booth. Thank you so much for what you've done in Nassau County for the community here in Roosevelt. And again, folks, Goldfeet on Instagram, Goldfeet Global on the website.
Yes, sir.
And get Junior directly on the Instagram if you want to hook up and bring this kind of training and mental fortitude to your community. So, Junior, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you.
It's a pleasure, Junior Goldfeet.
Yes, sir.
All right, and folks, it looks like the weather is going to wrap it up here for us. So we want to thank you for joining us and thank Junior for getting this done and Coach Vito for doing everything he does for the athletes in Nassau County. So we're going to be signing out now. For our crew, it's going to be the director, Chris Sweeney, Pablo Pachuch, and Tyler Stazak on the camera. My partner, Daniel Correa. I'm Robert Anderson. Thanks for joining us here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Executive producers Ben Turchin, Jeff Turchin. Beautiful job out here today. Thanks for joining us, folks. We'll be back.